When I started editing my theory video, I was all alone. My subscribers are gone. Is it because of the lack of content? What do I do now? Do I post a video? Or do I let my channel die? I don't have any new ideas for content, but I'm scared to let this channel fade away. I'm afraid of putting so much work into something that people will forget in a day. Hey man, you still working on that Silent Hill 2 theory video? Yeah, I'm still working on it. It's been almost 2 months since I started writing it, and honestly, I don't think it's gonna do very well. Creator's block is a bitch. Most of the stuff that I talk about, people probably already know about, and there's other content creators that can do this a lot better than me, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to deliver content that my viewers are gonna deem valuable. I mean, let's just be honest. I made a couple of good videos when Silent Hill 2 Remake was in its heyday, and now that it's over and the hype is completely died down, I don't know what else I can make that people are gonna want to watch. It's getting harder and harder to retain the attention of my viewers, or of viewers in general. There's people that literally destroy supercars and they get more attention, they get more clicks. Meanwhile, I put in 2 months into writing a script, getting gameplay, putting it together, making a thumbnail, and it doesn't do very well. Tell me about it. It annoys me too. I don't know. Maybe I should just quit. Listen, you can't have that kind of mentality when you're in this kind of creator space. It's a very competitive market. A lot of people are competing for it. And if you just give up, how do you expect yourself to get anywhere in life? It takes time. It truly takes time. Yeah, there are shortcuts. Yeah, there's AI and all these other tools that people use to get views quick and to really climb that ladder in the creator space. But people like us, we're the ones that really stand out. That's true. It just takes time, and you just need to be patient, and you can't quit. What I think you should do, I think you should take a break from the Silent Hill 2 theory video, lay down for a little bit, and then try to get back up, get back onto the saddle, and create something cool. You know what? I think I'm gonna head to bed right now. I've been up for countless nights trying to get this script. I deserve to go to bed, so that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, lay down for a little bit. I'm gonna go to bed. The content gods require a sacrifice. I'm sorry. Oh man. I gotta get this video out. Wait! There is no denying that Silent Hill 2 has one of the most significant narratives in psychological horror. So far, not many games have reached the same level of narrative genius that is Silent Hill 2, which makes it a truly unique experience. The multiple ambiguous endings entice the player to draw conclusions based on subtle clues from the cinematography, the characters, the environment designs, and even how the enemies are designed. Every detail serves a purpose that fuels the burning fire of theorization. Hello, I am the host, and welcome to the Silent Lounge. Today, we will discuss fan theories of Silent Hill 2 and the remake. This is my first time doing a theory video, so go easy on me in the comment section.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I realize this video is late to the theory party, but better late than ever, am I right? Most of these theories are not mine,
and I will credit my sources in the description below for those who want to read into the same rabbit hole that I fell in. Without further ado, let's theorize about Silent Hill 2. If you just finished Silent Hill 2 Remake and hate the ending, don't worry, you can get multiple different endings in the Silent Hill 2 Remake or even in the original. Before I go Bill Nye the Theory Guy, I need to explain the secret endings so that newcomers can understand these theories. There are 8 endings in Silent Hill 2 Remake, while the original only has 6. Most of you will probably want to listen to the theory, so if you want to skip this section, here's a timestamp to skip. These endings are achievable without New Game Plus, meaning you can play the game for the first time and still get one of these endings. In the Leave ending, James accepts the truth that he killed Mary because he wanted to get on with his life.
The truth is, I hated you. I wanted you out of the way. I wanted my life back.
And leave Silent Hill with Laura. To achieve this ending, you must do the following throughout the game. Keep James's health up, look at Mary's photo occasionally, try to get into fewer enemy encounters, and spend less time with Maria. In the In Water ending, James can't live with what he's done to Mary.
I tried. I really did, but I can't. I just can't go on without you. I can't forgive myself for what I've done.
And meets a watery grave by driving his car into Toluca Lake. To achieve this ending, you must play more recklessly by getting to more enemy encounters. You must not heal as often, and leaving your health in a red condition. You also have to examine Angela's knife often, while also reading the suicide note on the roof of the Brookhaven Hospital and the message on the wall at Bar Neely's. In the Maria ending, James learns nothing from his experience and accepts Maria as Mary's replacement. However, Maria begins to get sick like Mary, to which James replies,
Better do something about that cough.
To get this ending, you need to constantly be around Maria and protect her from enemies. You must trigger the costume conversation at Jack's Inn. You know the one I'm talking about, wink wink. Visit her in the medical cell at the Brookhaven Hospital, and see her body in the labyrinth at least 2 times. To get the secret endings, you must play the game again under New Game Plus. You must beat the game to unlock New Game Plus as an option on the menu screen. In the Rebirth ending, James takes Mary's body across Toluca Lake in hopes of resurrecting Mary, showing that James hasn't accepted the truth. The forest trail at the beginning of the game has a note on the table. On this note, there is a list of items you need to get to obtain the Rebirth ending. Here are the locations of these items. If I can find a way to speedrun this game, that would be great. Okay, so the Book of Crimson is going to be right over here. So now that I got that finished, we're going to go to Baldwin Estate, so that way we can get the White Chalice. I believe Baldwin Estate is right around here, so we're just going to go get it right now. Because the White Chasm, that is how we also get the Rebirth ending. And I believe the Baldwin Estate is right over here. Dead end? Alright, so I'm looking for the chalice. There's the chalice. It's right here. So that's the obsidian goblet. Goblet, I should say. There we go. So now I'm just going to continue playing the game as normal. So I just found lost memories inside of the cafe. It was inside the wall. So I just found the book of lost memories. So I have all the things needed for the ending, the rebirth ending, which is great. After collecting these items, complete the game as usual, and bam, you will resurrect Mary. The UFO ending is where James gets abducted by the original James Sunderland from Silent Hill 2 and aliens. This ending is meant to be a joke ending and is not meant to be taken seriously. I don't have any theories on this ending, but I'll cover it in this video. At the beginning of the game, you will need the blue gemstone, which is found at the Silent Hill jewelry store, located here. You must use it in 3 locations that have the alien symbol. Here are the locations: the rooftop at Saul's apartments, Rosewater Park Pier. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. I need a... There we go. And Lakeview Hotel Pier. Uh-oh, there we go. There we go. I need to look at the gemstone before I put the tape in. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Here we go. Alright, let's look at it. The dog ending is another joke ending with a dog controlling James's purgatory. It is a pretty goofy ending, and honestly, I don't know if I would prefer this ending or the alien ending, as both are funny and pretty cool. For this ending, you must find 2 parts that will combine into a key. The first part is in a pet shop left of Big J's. After you meet Maria for the first time, go to Cat Street and pay close attention to the houses. One of these houses will have a fence with a bone symbol on it. Go there and there should be a dog house with the second piece in the backyard. Play the game as usual until you reach the Lakeview Hotel. Instead of entering room 312, look for the observation room and use the dog key to trigger the secret dog ending. Bloober Team made 2 additional endings that weren't in the original Silent Hill 2. The 2 endings are Stillness and Bliss. Both endings can only be achieved in New Game Plus, so finish your first playthrough before taking any of these steps. The Stillness ending can only be achieved after getting the in-water ending. At the beginning of the game, a chainsaw sits on top of the log near Silent Hill Ranch. The chainsaw is a powerful melee weapon that can one-shot lying figures and other minor enemy types. You will need this chainsaw to break a car window before your first enemy encounter. The car is green and is located around this area. Inside the vehicle, there is a key of sorrow. This key will be used near the end of the game in the alternate Lakeview Hotel. A safe is located on the first floor in the manager's office. Use the key to open the room and enter code 314 into the safe to get the Toluca postcard. Inspect it in your inventory and finish the game as usual. For the Bliss ending, you must go to Pete's Bolorama after you meet Maria for the first time. Inside Pete's Bolorama is a safe that requires a code 1887. Inside the safe, there is a rusted key. There is a gazebo in the garden area in the Brookhaven Hospital before the Flesh Lips boss. Inside the gazebo is a wooden box you will need to pick up. Combine the rusted key and the box to get the white Claudia. Hang on to it until you reach the Lakeview Hotel. In room 312, before you insert the VHS tape, use the white Claudia. Then insert the VHS tape, and you will automatically get the Bliss ending. So now that I explained how to get each ending in the Silent Hill 2 remake, I'm going to break them down for you and basically just talk about these endings, because these endings are fantastic, and how Bloober Team was able to retain and even innovate with the 2 new endings is actually pretty fantastic. So we're going to start with the Leave ending. Now everyone knows this as the most positive ending. This is the most positive outcome in James's character arc, and it also resolves Laura's character arc. Laura has found a father-like figure in James, and they both leave the town together. They both survive. And this is the only ending where James is a hero. He redeems himself, and he acknowledges what happens, he accepts what happens, and he decides to better himself by leaving the town, to not give in to the temptation of Maria. And Laura is also saved from the town by James. So, to a lot of people, this is the best ending. But for me, I feel like the In Water ending is canon. So, In Water is one of 3 bad endings. This is a very dark ending in which James terminates himself by driving his car in the Toluca Lake. It is bittersweet to most people, myself including, and it shows a path similar to Angela's, where she walks up the stairs that is on fire. This shows that James just could not forgive himself for what he did. Although Mary forgives him, he cannot forgive himself, and it just leads him to destroy himself by driving his car into the Toluca Lake. The Maria ending is where James is a full-on antagonist. He doesn't learn anything from his experience from Silent Hill, and matter of fact, this is where he embraces the dark side by the powers of Silent Hill. Instead of moving on and accepting what he's done, he accepts Maria as Mary's replacement. And although you might think that having Maria as a replacement is good, Maria begins to get sick. And it just shows that the cycle continues, and James is going to continue this cycle over and over and over again, which is why some people think the time loop theory is more fitting for the remake. However, I believe that the timeline theory is more in line with the original game, and I'll explain that later on in this video. The Rebirth ending is where basically James's obsession with Mary leads him to the dark side of Silent Hill, where he performs a cult-like act in resurrecting Mary. I theorize that this is the path of Walter Sullivan. So this is the Walter Sullivan ending, and the reason I say that is because Walter Sullivan is part of the cult. For those of you who have not played Silent Hill 4, Walter Sullivan is the main antagonist of that game. And basically what happens is he's trying to execute the tenants of the apartment, and our main character is a tenant of that apartment. So he just keeps killing these people one by one to commit these acts for the cult. I'm not going to get too much in detail with the story of Silent Hill 4. If you guys have not played it, go play it. It's a really good game. So this is the Walter Sullivan ending. And although Walter Sullivan doesn't make an appearance in this game, his influence is regarded as a very strong plot point in the game. It actually has ripple effects to the events that happen in the game. You read the newspaper article, you see the graves in the game. So although he is not physically present in the game, his actions are, and it's a testament to that. And I honestly think that the Rebirth ending is showing James becoming like Walter Sullivan. So I'm going to talk about the Bloober Team ending, Stillness and Bliss. Stillness is In Water 2.0. Luke Roberts' acting is on an entirely different level. It is godlike. It sucks that Luke Roberts didn't win Best Performance for Silent Hill 2, because my god, the guy just completely delivers in the scene. And what the scene does, it kind of combines the original ending of In Water, where Mary, the ghost of Mary, forgives James for what he's done, and James still can't go on living without Mary. So it kind of takes that, but just puts it on another level with Luke Roberts' acting, which I think is fantastic. Bliss is basically where James is just ignorant to what he's done, which is pretty much kind of like the Maria ending. Instead, he still believes Mary is still out there and continues to search for her. And his idea of Mary being this perfect person that he loves in his mind is still intact. He has not brought himself to the truth. And at the end of this ending, they do this camera pan, which is very similar to the original Silent Hill 2, which was my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes of Silent Hill 2. Just cinematic shot of James sitting in the chair while the camera just pans around him. Here, it's just an empty chair, so it kind of implies that James is kind of out there looking for Mary, or that James's journey is just finished here. He doesn't learn anything, so he's stuck in his kind of delusional state where he believes Mary is still in Silent Hill. The time loop theory is precisely what it sounds like. James Sunderland is trapped in a repeating cycle which explains the multiple endings. At specific points of the game, you can see corpses that wear similar clothing to James and even has the same haircut. Of course, these bodies are unrecognizable, so it's hard to determine if they are old versions of James, who failed to survive the town's punishment. The ambiguity behind the power of Silent Hill is what makes this theory the most intriguing to me. It makes sense for James to keep reliving his nightmares repeatedly until he learns to accept the truth. However, the fates of Angela and Eddie are fixed no matter what you do. They will always perish, succumbing to the supernatural forces of Silent Hill. The Leave ending proves that you can escape Silent Hill, and that Angela and Eddie could have also left the town. I like to believe that Silent Hill tests you through punishment, and how you endure that punishment is up to you. The timeline theory fits the original Silent Hill 2 game better than the remake because there isn't proof that previous events happened. If you are confused with what I'm saying, the alternate timeline theory might put things into perspective. Instead of James being trapped in an endless time loop, some suggest that the remake is in an alternate timeline. In the Silent Hill 2 remake, Easter eggs called glimpses are references to areas of the original Silent Hill 2. Events are shown to have already happened, yet they happen differently in the remake, which differs from a time loop. The remake version of James Sunderland is an alternate version of the real James Sunderland. The real James Sunderland has already been through this hellscape, and there is proof of his remains in these glimpses. The alternate version of James Sunderland goes through the same plot but in different ways. For example, on the roof of Brookhaven Hospital, there is a glimpse that shows the roof vents being destroyed, indicating that something happened to cause that. People who have played the original Silent Hill 2 know that this is where Pyramid Head shoved James off the roof, which causes the fence to be destroyed. In the remake, it doesn't happen as in the original, as Pyramid Head throws James down an elevator shaft instead of pushing him off the roof. Another example of this is in the Blue Creek's apartment. A coin puzzle box is shown to be destroyed with the coins inside it, indicating that it was solved long ago. Perhaps at the end of each timeline, another alternate timeline is born, causing an infinite timelines to happen in an endless loop. The red squares are manual save points in Silent Hill 2 and the remake. Many fan theories exist about the red squares, so we will discuss the ones that I find most interesting. One theory that I like is from Digital Travel on Reddit. Their theory is that these red squares have the same aspect ratio as TVs, which is 1:1. When James looks at these squares, they reflect him in the save screen, like a red-tinted mirror. James inserts the VHS tape at the game's climax and stares at the TV screen, showing his reflection, like the save screen. The red squares can foreshadow the TV at the Lakeview Hotel in room 312. Red symbolizes the various emotions including passion, danger, health, energy, dominance, and young love. All are reoccurring themes in Silent Hill 2. Another Reddit user comments on how similar the 9-square save point is in terms of the layout of Old Silent Hill. That is fascinating connection since Silent Hill 1 isn't referenced at all in Silent Hill 2, as Silent Hill 2 very much stands on its own in terms of location and story. This theory can also be coincidental since the squares on the map are not exactly 1:1. Either way, I still find it a very interesting theory, even though it is very unlikely.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Masaharu Ito hinted that the 9 red squares represent the 9 different enemy types, or hallucinations, James encounters throughout the original game. These monsters are Mary/Maria, Pyramid Head, Creeper, Mandarin, Lion Figures, Bobblehead Nurses, Mannequins, and Flesh Lips. Abstract Daddy is Angela's hallucination, so technically that is not part of James's hallucinations. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. As for the 9 red square save points, they have a more personal meaning to me. This is not a theory, but something that pops into my head whenever I look at it. Here are my favorite save points in the original Silent Hill 2 game. The first red square save point is the most iconic save point to me because of its symbolism. The red square is at the bottom of the well, yet it's visible and apparent. The save point symbolizes the guilt and trauma buried within James's psyche, and when he interacts with it for the first time, it's like a door being unlocked for the first time in years. The second save point is also a favorite of mine because the neighborhood setting and the healing items on the floor near the fence felt like a Resident Evil save room, and the ambient noises were far from peaceful, yet I felt calm. The Woodside Apartments is my favorite level in the Silent Hill 2 game and the remake. Not only was it where the game showcased the true horror that awaits James and introduces Pyramid Head, but it also introduced a fresh take on survival horror in the puzzles and backtracking. The first save point is the most memorable in the Woodside Apartment because of the rays of light shining through the boarded up windows, which honestly gave me chills. The Brookhaven Hospital save point in patient room S10 felt more profound than any other save points because it was like Silent Hill was forcing James to remember what he did by purposefully putting a red square there, and even had Maria lay down in room S3 to recover from a hangover. It's blunt, and I love that detail so much. It's subtle to newcomers, but for people like me who have played the game multiple times, it is as blunt as a sledgehammer. This is where we find Eddie entirely out of his mind. This is the second time we see Eddie with a dead body, but this time Eddie is not puking in a toilet. He is sitting there with the murder weapon. I love the attention to detail in the cafeteria with the grimy walls and lunch trays scattered around the tables. This is what I would imagine a prison lunchroom would look like in a hellish landscape. In possibly one of the most heartbreaking scenes in a video game, James walks in on Angela being attacked by Abstract Daddy. The newspaper on the floor adds that tiny nugget of information that is the missing piece to Angela's puzzle. It explains why Angela acts the way that she does in Silent Hill. The game subtly tells you this information by throwing a save point just before you enter the room. I still think about the symbolism behind the graveyard to this day. James, Angela, and Eddie have their own tombstones and holes where the body should be. James can enter his grave, which leads to another room. I interpret it as James accepting his fate, or accepting death by literally stepping inside his own grave. The other two graves you cannot enter. I theorize that Angela and Eddie can enter their own graves to accept their fates, but cannot enter anyone else's grave, meaning their tombstone is for them to enter only. Another iconic moment I think about from time to time is when James Sunderland sails across Toluca Lake to get to Lakeview Hotel. Hearing the water splash and seeing the fog roll by is breathtakingly beautiful and chilling. This is the last save point before the big plot twist of the game. After everything you've been through, your goal is literally across the hall from you. I remember the feeling I got when I got to the save point. I was expecting James to finally reunite with Mary. Yeah, I was that naive when I first played the game. In the original Silent Hill 2, Brookhaven Hospital has medical records and documents that describe 3 patients: Jack Davis, Joseph Barkin, and Joshua Lewis. Jack Davis has tendencies to harm himself even though he is a model patient. Jack Davis is very similar to Angela Orsko in her themes of self-termination. Joseph Barkin has paranoid delusions of guilt as he believes he is solely responsible for his daughter's death. Joseph Barkin is similar to James Sunderland in terms of James's guilt and regret for killing his wife. Joshua Lewis is a violent patient who has a persecution complex where he believes he can only punish others through violence. Joshua Lewis is similar to Eddie Dombrowski in terms of Eddie killing his bullies and anyone who doesn't take him seriously. There are also other theories that these 3 patients are part of James's psyche, as James represents all 3 themes that these patients share, which are violence, guilt, and self-termination. Joseph Barkin, Joshua Lewis, and Jack Davis are not named in the remake, but exist as patient numbers and have been slightly altered. Patient 50 suffers from violent outbursts, similar to Eddie Dombrowski. Patient 130 suffers from excessive paranoia and visual illusions, similar to what Angela is suffering from throughout the game. Patient 90 suffers from insomnia and sensory delusions and rejects taking care of himself. James Sunderland has been sticking his hands in disgusting places without a second thought, and he also has become more visually tired throughout the game. The argument can be made that all three patients are also representative of James Sunderland, since he does have aggression towards the enemies, hallucinations of Maria, and he also refuses to take care of himself. The Silent Hill franchise's mystery and ambiguity makes it fun to discuss. Anyone can pitch their crazy, wild theories to add to the conversation of Silent Hill. That is, if Masahiro Ito doesn't come out and debunk them on Twitter or Cross. Horror franchises like Resident Evil or Outlast don't offer the same ambiguity as Silent Hill, which is missing in many modern horror games. I hope the new Silent Hill games will leave some questions unanswered and open for debate. The beauty of being part of a passionate community is sharing theories to strengthen our understanding of Silent Hill, even if they are just theories. Writing the script for this video took me such a long time because I fell into this rabbit hole of lore and theories. I wanted to make sure that I did this video right, so I took my time writing everything I could think of into this one video. I apologize if this video is extremely late, especially since Silent Hill 2 is no longer relevant, but it really means a lot to me that you guys decided to take time out of your day to watch it. Thank you guys so much for joining in on the discussion at the Silent Lounge.